guys, welcome back to the Traveling Urban Farmer. For those that don't know, I'm Williams, and on this channel we are going to explore different garden tips, different garden ideas and DIY projects, things that you can do in your garden that might help you gain the most from your garden. So stay tuned with us and follow along. Alright guys, so here we are. It's the day after Christmas here in Utah. I live in central Utah, like Salt Lake County area, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of snowing right now, which is kind of cool. I just wanted to show you, not all the time can your yard be amazing and fantastic, especially if you have dogs. It's a constant battle with the dogs, especially a new puppy. Let me show you what my dog has done. So I don't know if you can see right here, she has dug up my drip line. Is it a big deal? No, not necessarily. It's just more of a nuance than anything. Like I said, she's a puppy. See her in the background right over there. She's it's a big hurting ball. So I can't be 100% mad at her. I'm upset because now it's a little bit more time. More money, a project that I was not planning on fixing or doing because it wasn't a problem before, but now it's definitely going to be a problem. So that's okay. But yeah, let me show you what my garden space looks like, and maybe what some of my future plans for my garden space will be for this upcoming year, and things in the future videos, things that I can build during the winter. So right now it's really not that much snow. It's not a terrible winter yet, but winter season has just started, so we could get up to a foot of snow where I'm at, and I can't do anything in the garden when there's a foot of snow. But it doesn't mean you can't be working on things for your garden space. Winter time's a really good time to build projects and plan things out. Maybe start buying materials, stocking up on seeds and stuff like that. So let me give you a quick walk around of my garden, and I'll give you some ideas and thoughts of what I want to do next in some potential future videos. Alright, so we're in the backyard. Let me give you a reference point. Here's my back patio, back patio cover. Got big plans for this. I've had them for like 10 years and just haven't done anything with them yet. Time, money, that type of stuff. Over here is a brick patio, more of our barbecue space, RV parking. And this is what I reference to as Bermuda. So if you hear me talking about Bermuda, this is what I'm talking about. This is my boy Diesel. Say hi. He's been with us for a while. He loves smelling the flowers and being with you when you're planting. Then we got our orchard. We got orchard trees here. 7 garden box beds over here. Greenhouse with 2 garden beds. And 6 more raised garden beds. And then my little twerp of a dog over there digging another big hole for some reason. We'll have to go check that out. In-ground garden area. And then over here to the right is Jamie's garden, or what we reference to as Mimi's garden. So that's just a reference point, just so you know what I'm talking about. One of my goals for this year is to put up signs for each of the spaces. Like, this is basically my camp site. I want it to feel like a campground. And see, look at this, a nuisance. She's probably digging here because everywhere else is frozen. But again, not a big deal. Like, you really gotta pick your battles and your fights, and that's something I really want to spend a ton of time being mad over. I'll get mad at her for a second just so she learns, hey, don't do that. But then after that, not a big deal. Back to this. So this is like my camp space area. My dad, growing up, used to take us camping all the time, and my mom. My dad passed away when I was younger, so this space, when I built it, or the idea when I was building it, was for my dad. So, you know, we might call it Kelly's Campground, or I don't know, some Campground Kelly or Camp Kelly or something like that, because that's my dad's name. And I'll show you in the springtime, but we got these grasses here and honey locust trees, and this whole space really is getting to be looking more like, the idea is to make it look like a forest, and that's why I want it to look like a forest. So each of my spaces, and this is pro tip number one for this video, pro tip number one is maybe have some dedicated spaces, or figure out spaces in your yard to dedicate to certain things. I knew when I bought a house, I always wanted to have a campfire or fireplace area. I've gone back and forth between like 9 million different ideas for that camp space or that campfire or fire pit. And I still like the idea of a wood burning fireplace. It's just really fun, especially when we have kids or have nieces and nephews over, or friends. We can have a fire pit and do s'mores or roast hot dogs and whatnot, which is fun. I chose this space over here because from what my research was, an open fire pit like what I have needs to be 25 feet away from any like building or living structure. So with my house, that's definitely enough room for us to have a fireplace, and it's actually far enough away from all of our neighbors that I'm not too worried when we have a fire, which is really nice. Okay, over here is our back fence garden area. This is normally where I grow tomatoes and pumpkins and peppers. All of our beds, these ones like here are 2 feet, roughly 2 feet by 6 feet. So if you're a square foot gardener, that can give you an idea of how much stuff you can actually plant in these beds. And they're about 20 inches tall. I mean, they start off at 20 inches and we add mulch and they've settled and stuff, so they're probably more like, I don't know, 18 inches, 16 inches now. Not a big deal. We just wanted to raise garden bed. And then these little ones here, why did we go smaller ones? Honestly, it was aesthetics. It was what I had. It was just an idea. I thought, let's try it out and see what happens. They're roughly a 2 by 2, 2 foot by 2 foot. And in all honesty, they kind of struggle a little bit with growing certain things. I don't know what it is. So I think this year, these 2 beds here will be my dedicated pollinator beds. So I'll plant flowers in them that will attract bees and hummingbirds and other awesome insects to help pollinate the rest of my beds. You can see there's poles sticking out. I got tomato cages. I will go through and talk about all like this type of stuff in later videos to help you guys get ideas. My goal is to post a lot of videos as much as I can so that you can have a reference or get some ideas for your garden space before spring hits. This is the greenhouse. I got the greenhouse plans from Anna White. She's an awesome DIY builder. They're free plans. I modified them a little bit to fit what I wanted, what I needed. I'll give you a tour on that later. But yeah, that's my greenhouse. Then over here, this is probably one of my most favorite places, is our new bed area. I think this is our second year. We're running into our second year for this space this way. That box there, if you're like, what in the world is that box? Luke, you said there were 7. There's actually 8. That was supposed to be a digging bed for this little punk, June, because she loves to dig. Like, she's already dug a hole there within like 30 seconds. You notice here, she's dug a big ginormous hole here. But in reality, when there's plants and stuff, she doesn't dig a whole lot in my raised beds. This is the first winter that we've had her where she wasn't a teeny tiny puppy, so it's just a learn as we go type thing. We got our grapes, we got an arch there, a pergola, not even pergola, makeshift arch here. I have big plans for all this stuff. I will talk to you guys about. Maybe I'll give you an idea of one idea I have for this area in a bit. But in this area, we planted tomatoes last year. We got grapes, we got raspberries, lots of raspberries, some more pollinators, beans, peas. So in reality, it's whatever you want it to be. This is why I kind of like raised beds, is because I can move things around and still have a good looking garden and not have the same fruits or vegetables in the same areas in different seasons. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty chill in my book. That's what I like about it. And then we got half of our orchard over here, apple trees, sheds. I got an idea for back here for some gardening tools. Over here is our other orchard and peach and pear trees, raspberry bed. Some ideas we had is continue this bed out more so we have more strawberries. We love strawberries. Composting bin. That bed has been multiple different things. This next year I think we're just going to yoink it out and get rid of it. But if you notice, just standing here, I have a wood bed. Then I have a really tall raised cinder block bed that we built. First one I've ever built. It's doing okay. I definitely no expert when it comes to cement and concrete, but it's lasted probably 4 years now. So, and then over here, I don't know if you can see, but over here is another bed. It's black because I spray painted it, but it's actually metal. Let me be a little closer. This is a metal raised bed that I had built a long time ago, probably honestly, probably 9 years ago, 7 years ago. My brother-in-law was or is a welder, and we were trying out different raised bed types, trying to figure out, hey, can we sell certain ones? What are the benefits? What are the costs? What are the downsides to them? And so far, the only downside is this is really thin metal. I would prefer to use thicker metal, but thicker metal is super expensive, and we're trying to keep costs down. That's my whole thing is I want to be able to have a big garden for little cost, or not, like I don't want to break the bank basically. I'm not a rich person. I can't afford to go hire these big landscapers and buy all these massive trees and stuff. So a lot of times my plants I start on my own, or me and Jamie, we start them together. We go buy those starts, or we'll take clippings from plants that we have grown before or saved seeds, and then we'll just replant those. And that's honestly, that's my ultimate goal. Is I would like to be a self-sufficient homestead, in the sense of I want to be able to save seeds, save clippings, replant year after year after year. So those plants that are growing and producing, the seeds, just the genetics and the DNA of the seeds over time start growing and becoming accustomed to my yard, my soil, my climate, and over time they'll just be amazing. But when it comes to gardening, is pro tip number 2. I'm going to give you 2 tips today. So the second one is gardening is an adventure. You're going to fail and you're going to succeed, and you're going to fail and succeed at the same time. It's it's all about what you do with those failures or those successes that make your garden space amazing. Um, so yeah, so that's my quick garden tour. Give you one more look. So everything that I've done here, minus like pre-existing sheds or whatever, me and Jamie have built. I've designed a lot of it on my own. Pinterest is a great inspirational tool for me. YouTube's a great place. But I start piling all these ideas and making mood boards and start trying to figure out what I want in my garden. So yeah, I didn't take you over to Jamie's garden, but we'll do that a different day. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I want to try and make sure that my tours aren't super long. I'm going to try to do more short videos where I talk about like one specific thing, not as huge overall gist of things, because I think a lot of people get bored of that and we'll switch the channel or get rid of it. So in the future, just so you guys all know, it will be more specific things like how do I do this, how do I make that, what type of wood do I use, what type of stain am I using, have I noticed any issues with the soil when it comes to raised beds, what are some tips and tricks to raising fruits and vegetables in a raised garden bed, just stuff like that. I'll talk about. So back where the grapes and stuff were, let's take you right over here ish. That area, and on the other side where I have all my raised beds, I have some ideas. Make it aesthetically more pleasing, as well as more effective gardening, as well as I just want to try new things out. So last year I tried like conduit pipes for a lot of things, and that worked and it was great. But I'm kind of leaning more towards, hey, let's look for maybe a little bit more permanent solution, or a permanent solution that I can use in multiple different ways, multiple different fruits and vegetables. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, I just appreciate you guys tagging along. Please share these videos, like, subscribe to it, hit that notification bell. Not because I'm necessarily looking for, I don't want to be necessarily this huge influencer, but gardening is, like I said in my first video, is a stress reliever for me. It's a place where I can walk out during the spring and some like summer, late spring, early summertime in my garden is just so beautiful. I absolutely love it. The peonies are blooming, all of our flowers and vegetables are starting to grow. It's just amazing. It's like a restart to life, and that's something that I think each of us need every year, is just a restart. So if that's something that interests you and you don't have time or you don't know where to start, don't forget to check out my website. It's I'll put a link in the description. But on the website it has my services for maybe you don't have the time or the effort or the energy to garden, but you want to garden, and so you want to hire someone to be your private gardener. I'm the guy. I love it. I want to do it. I want to do it for everybody. I would love to be a full-time gardener for people. I don't necessarily, I wouldn't say I don't want to do it for businesses, but I want to help more of Joe Blow and the people that can't necessarily afford everything or are trying but fall short. And so if that's you and you want some help, please feel free to reach out. Message me, comment. I do look at comments and I do look at my messages, and I do reply back pretty promptly. And quickly because that's